Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Kaba Ilco number 7011 TK9. This is in the 04 finish, which is a satin brass. Got a little peel-away protective film there covering the satin brass finish. This is an unusual piece of hardware. I don't bump into it very often because it's a thumb turn rim cylinder. I think the only time that you'll use a thumb turn rim cylinder is when you're converting a function from something that was obviously previously keyed to something that needs to now be a thumb turn. You might have some sort of hardware like a surface-mounted deadbolt, and the construction may have changed. So where you once had a key, you now simply need to just provide access to the opening without the use of a key. I suppose that might be a scenario by which you would use this, or maybe you have exit device hardware that you had a key cylinder, and that needs to be removed. And your only option is to replace the entire trim, possibly, if it's still available, meaning it's not discontinued. You might just opt for a lower cost thumb turn sort of solution. Come to think of it, you could have a scenario where you have a night latch onto a door. In fact, I have seen a scenario like this. There was a restaurant that wanted to have a lock on the door, a night latch, so as to always keep the door not only closed but positively latched. And it was because it was a room where it was cold storage. It wasn't proper cold storage in the sense that it was a unit manufactured to do that, but they were storing liquids in there, and they needed to have it at room temperature. Beverages is what it was. And they wanted a night latched, and the client, now that I think of it, called and said, I don't want to have a key stuck in there all the time because that key works the other door, which is the locked storage. And we elected to just put a rim cylinder on there because they needed to have all the employees enter where they could pull out more stock for the bar. And that's how we solved that, actually. Worked out just fine for them. That was many years ago. So fixing a prior mistake, possibly, or just a change in function. Other than the fact that this is a thumb turn, it's a regular rim cylinder, which means it'll have a tailpiece like this. That tailpiece can actually be installed either horizontally or vertically by removing the C-clip and repositioning it. You usually don't have to reposition a tailpiece on a rim cylinder. It's going to include a cylinder collar. And by the way, the 7011 TK, that means a thumb turn rim cylinder. The 9 is a reference to the tailpiece. They do have different tailpieces. You could get a longer bar style tailpiece that would basically work on a thick door, an exceptionally thick door. You would change that 9 to another number. It might be 10. We'll look at that in a moment. It will also include its 2 screws and its mounting plate. Now the mounting plate is going to install just like that, and it will go through the door. This tailpiece, you'll drill 1 1/4 holes common for this. You'll insert that into the hole. Then on the opposite side of the door, like underneath the head of the lock, will be the mounting plate. The 2 screws are going to go through that mounting plate, obviously. And thread right to the back of the tapped holes in the back of the brass cylinder. Okay? These screws are called breakaway screws because you can notch them back for different thicknesses of the door, as is the graduation marks on the tailpiece. Don't just take a plier and try to snap it, cut it. You want that tailpiece to be absolutely straight, because if the tailpiece kind of rotates in an elliptical sort of fashion, it's not going to work very well in the lock. It'll bind as you're trying to turn it. So carefully cut the screws and the tailpiece down should you need to, and it's very likely that you will actually need to, because this will probably right out of the box get yourself into the 2¼ inch range for sure, if not a little bit bigger. At a minimum, yeah, so you'll be at 2¼ inch for sure. So if it's an 1¾ inch thick door, you might need to trim certainly the tailpiece, because that tailpiece is coming out of the door quite a distance. And the bottom line is you may not be able to get all of that installed into the lock. You might have to cut that down a little bit. Okay. Also available in satin chrome. Those are two typical common stocked finishes that are usually kept in stock. But in ordering the material in a multiple of 10, which would be like a factory order minimum multiple requirement for doing a special finish or a non-standard finish like polished chrome, okay? We'd have to order in multiples of 10. Oil rubbed might be in stock as well, but generally if it's a custom finish, it will be in a multiple like that. Now, there is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Kaba Ilco products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. Several full product catalogs. The one that will pertain to the cylinder will be a catalog that will have the words brass cylinder in it. So look for a document called Brass Cylinder Catalog that will show you all of the rim cylinders, all of the mortise cylinders, all the different keyways and finishes and keying combinations that they can do. Outside of that cylinder collar, about 1¾ inch, will allow you to familiarize yourself with how extensive of a cylinder product line they offer. Lots of different keyways, like I said earlier. Very high quality material, all solid brass components here. The plug and the housing, which permits them to have very fine, tight machining tolerances because of the high caliber of the base material, so that you can rekey these locks and do so and experience a fantastic level of success because you're able to pin them properly. Not a lot of slop with the keys and the pins that are used. So a very high quality product. And if you're doing a relatively common keyway in a cylinder that is from Kaba that's compatible with your other locks, you'll want to explore their product line because it's significantly less expensive than original equipment from the major lock manufacturers. There's also a link to their key blank catalog, which is very helpful. It'll allow you to look at all their key blanks. It's probably that thick if it's printed out. And then some aluminum storefront hardware as well. If you have any questions on the Kaba Ilco 7011 TK9-04 thumb turn style rim cylinder or any other Kaba Ilco product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.